How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, and I have to apologize. It has been far too long since I've recorded a video. Between the weather being absolutely horrible here, which really has no precedence on me being in my warm house recording a video, and just a ton of work that I've had to do recently, I just have not had the time to record any videos, so I do apologize, and I'm going to try to get back up to full steam ASAP. And I'm going to start with the biggest Sega pickup I've ever had in my life. It's not really an individual pickup, it's a couple different pickups combined together, but I found another Holy Grail, we'll just say. Anyways, guys, let me just jump right into it. The first item that I want to show you is a Sega Saturn game that I picked up from my good buddy, the Retro Rat, and I will link his channel down below for you guys. This is one that I've had my eyes on for quite some time, and I am completely thrilled to be able to have added this to my collection. He gave me a very, very good price on it, and it is a copy of Guardian Heroes. And the cool thing about Guardian Heroes, it's got the styrofoam and everything in there, but the cool thing about Guardian Heroes, what kind of makes this game stand apart, it actually has a few key elements to it. It's more of an anime-styled game, you know, similar to like Final Fight, where they're just animated sprite characters. But this game actually allows up to 6-player multiplayer, so it's a 6-player beat-em-up. And on top of that, you can jump from multiple planes. So instead of like in Final Fight, how you could just kind of like scroll up and down, it has different planes, which adds to the level of strategy in it. But basically, this is a super fun game. This will definitely make my top 10 list of the best Saturn games. It's really, really fun to play this one with your friends, and I definitely recommend it if you have not yet checked it out. Alright guys, moving on. The next game I'm going to show you I actually picked up from a local game store. And at first I kind of just scanned past it, but then I noticed the publisher for it. I've yet to try this, so I can't really give you my opinion, but when I saw the publisher I had to pick it up. And it is a copy of High Velocity Mountain Racing Challenge. And if you guys didn't notice, there was my motivation right there. The beautiful Atlas logo. And definitely something that I'm super, super pleased to add to the collection. Something that I cannot believe that I didn't even know existed. I try to consider myself a big fan of the Atlas games, and this one slipped right past me. As far as I know, the only Atlas Sega Saturn title I'm missing now is Lunacy, and that one is very difficult to find. I've been having a really tough time tracking it down. Anyways, moving on. This next one here I actually got from my buddy Chris Lake, and he goes by Nintendork, I believe, on YouTube, so I will post him below also so you guys can check him out. He's got a really, really good Nintendo collection. He's more of a Nintendo collector. Got lots of complete Super Nintendo games, stuff like that. But he's not really a Sega guy, so he knew I was, and he kept me in mind when parting with this. And we were able to work out a partial trade and then a little bit of cash. I got a really good price on it. And it's another Working Designs title off the list, Shining Wisdom. And even though I would say of the Working Designs games, this is probably one of the lower desired ones. It's not, you know, the big top of the creme de creme. It's definitely something that I'm really, really happy to add to the collection. And believe it or not, I'm getting pretty close to complete Working Design set for Sega Saturn. So definitely happy to get that one out of the way, and I definitely appreciate Chris with the hookup on that. Alright, the next one is yet another Working Designs Saturn game. Like I said, this is definitely the biggest Sega pickup video I will ever film, unless I find like the Blockbuster World Championship or something, but I really don't see that happening. And this one here, believe it or not, is a really, really good game. It's a strategy RPG. I could not recommend it enough. I've been dying to get my hands on a copy, and I'm finally glad to say that I own Dragonforce. And what makes Dragonforce really cool is it's got this really cool, this crazy, like, just the way that the battles are in it. I mean, there's just like 100 characters on the screen. It's just really sweet. It's got some anime cutscenes, and it's got the cool graphics that I like, the animated sprite-based style. So this one was definitely high on my list. I am super thrilled to finally take it off my list and put it on my shelf. Alright guys, these last three were all part of a single pickup, and I also got these off of my buddy the Retro Rat. He found a game that he was really looking to add to his collection, and it was a big budget title, and he definitely needed some fast money. And thankfully I was able to work out a deal with him to grab these three games. The first one is actually a Sega CD game, and something that I've been looking for quite some time. It's a very cool shooter of sorts, and without further ado, I give you guys Android Assault. And aside from having a really cool, in my opinion, cover art, this game is just phenomenal. Really fun. I definitely enjoy it, and I definitely recommend this to anyone who's looking for a good shooter for the Sega CD, because there's really not too many, so definitely recommend this one. Okay, the next game, I'm going to jump off a little bit. Instead of saying with Sega CD, is going to be a Sega Saturn game, and you'll see why when I show you the game after this. And this one is another game that I was really looking forward to adding to my collection. Huge fan of the Shining series. Shining Force 2 is actually the first role-playing game that I really connected with, and got me into the whole role-playing genre, even though it's more of a strategy RPG. But regardless, this one here is Shining the Holy Ark. And definitely not as fun as Shining Force 3, at least in my opinion, but still a great game. Still definitely happy to knock another Saturn RPG off the list. I'm getting very close to having every RPG for the Saturn. Definitely happy to get this one out of the way. But last and certainly, absolutely positively not least, I never thought I would own this game. For some people that have seen my previous Holy Grail video, you saw that I was able to pick up Panzer Dragoon Saga. If you have not seen that video yet, I will link that below also. But this one takes the cake. This one makes Panzer Dragoon Saga frail in comparison. I cannot believe I have this. And if you remember just a minute ago, I was talking about Android Assault being a good shooter for the Sega CD. Well, I found another good shooter for the Sega CD, and I still am in shock that I even own this game. Without further ado, I give you guys Cale, Flying Squadron. This game is super hard to find. It was actually published by JVC, and as far as I know, it was a late release Sega CD game. This was actually a game that came out towards the end of the life of the Sega CD, and it's not good enough to justify its price. So if you're looking for value for your dollar, definitely won't recommend this. But if you're a collector like me and you want to track down those hard-to-find games for its value, it is actually a very fun game. I do enjoy it. Retro Rat actually multiple times asked me what I thought of it. He really wanted my thoughts on it, and I didn't have my Sega CD hooked up at the time, but I was able to pick up a Model 1 recently, and I figured what better game to test it out than Cale. And it is super fun. It's actually really odd. You fly on this this little dragon that kind of reminds me of Icarus from Dragon Ball Z, if anyone knows who that is. And the character that you control is kind of like a, I don't know, she's like in a bikini with like a bunny hat. I'll get it a little closer so you can see. It's very odd, but definitely a fun game. And they actually made a sequel for this that's on the Sega Saturn. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. It was available in the PAL region though, so I'm definitely trying to track one of those down. But yeah, I just am lost for words, guys. I cannot believe that my Sega collection within the last couple months has just taken such a huge jump. This game is just, it is one of the crown jewels of my collection, I will say that. I'm super happy to get it. And the value of this, believe it or not, is right up there with like a little Samson cartridge. This game is insane. It's really skyrocketed recently. I've seen auctions as high as $750 on this, so absolutely ridiculous, but I paid nowhere near that, and I got a super bro price, so I'm super grateful. Thanks again to the Retro Rat, and I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end, and until next time, guys, take care.